Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is our science class 5. Today we will do unit 10 about soil, and I am your science teacher, Mrs. Farah Nasir. Yes, student, almost everywhere on land there is soil. It is a material that covers the earth's surface. Definitely, soil is very important because many living things use it as their supply of nutrients and place of shelter. All the plants that we eat grow in soil. All of you as know that plants directly or indirectly are the source of energy for all living things on our planet. Soil supports plants by holding their roots firmly and by providing important nutrients for their healthy growth. Because you know that plants make their food by themselves and the other living things take food from the plants. And soil is very important, although for all the living things, but for the especially plants, because plants grow in the soil. In this chapter, we will learn these points. The main points of these chapters are: what is soil? We learn the definition of the soil. Animals live in soil. Which animals live under the soil? Layer of the soil. Only we see the upper layer of the soil, but there are many layers of the soil, and also how many types of the soil in the earth. Before starting the chapter, I will tell you the definition of the soil. The outmost solid layer of the earth, a natural product formed from weathered rock by the action of climate and living organism, a collection of natural bodies of earth that is composed of minerals and organic matter and is capable of supporting plant growth. Soil is formed by the combination of the physical, chemical, and biological process in which huge rocks and broken down into smaller particles over a long period of time. This is the definition of the soil. And also you see here what is soil. Soil is made up of rocks, minerals, water, air, hums. What is hums? Hums are the remains of the dead plants and the animal. And here you see that the percentages of different things are given which contain the soil. Minerals are 45%, air 25%, water 25%, and 5% is organic matter. These all make the soil. Now come to the book page number 53, unit number 10. What soil is made of? Soil is made up of four things. These are water, air, particles of minerals, and organic matter. I told you, okay, who will tell me that what was the percentage of water in the soil and what is the percentage of air, what is the percentage of organic matter? Who will tell me? No one. The percentage of water is how much? 15% or 45%? And organic matters are only 5%. Minerals come from the broken rocks found under the ground. We already learned this in the definition of the soil. Yes, organic materials, topsoil, subsoil, you see the layers of the soil, weathered or decomposed rock, and at the end there are solid rocks. And also in the other diagram, you see topography, biota, time, and also the parent rock. All these are the elements of the soil. Yes, now come to the other topic. Animals live in soil. First we learn that what is soil, what is the definition of soil, or soil is made of which things, water, air, and particle of minerals and also the organic matter. Now we see that which animals live under the soil or in the soil. Small animals such as rats, moles, rabbits, and snakes make their homes in the soil. Smaller animals such as earthworms, millipedes, beetle, ants, and slugs also live in the soil. All of you know about these animals, which type of the animals they are. Okay, I'm shared the pictures of these animals. This is the mole, the first one, then rat, snakes. You already know all these animals. Yes, the other slide show you. The first is earthworm, then millipedes, then beetles, and this is the slug. The last diagram is slug. You already know about them. You see them in maybe in your homes or outside the home somewhere else. These are animals live under the soil or in the soil. These animals helps to aerate the soil, bring air into it, while other ways enriches the soil. These are animals make the soil enrich and help the plants to grow. If you have ever visited a construction site, you must have seen deep holes there. If you look closely at the side walls of the hole, you can see that the soil is not the same from the bottom to the top. I already um, show you the slide in which you see that there were different types of the different layer of the soil. The soil on the earth is found in layers. We already discussed and I show you the slide of that different layers of the soil. Also in this slide you see animals live in soil. Fox is there, snake, rabbit, rats, grasshopper, turtle, all these things live inside the soil and they made their home under the earth, and you see that how much relaxed they are over there. Our next article is about the layers of the soil. We can only see the upper layer of the soil, but the soil contains 3 or 4 layers: topsoil, subsoil, and bedrocks. Now we see that what is subsoil, what is bedrock, what is topsoil. The first one is topsoil that we see. This is the topmost layer of the soil. It is found near the surface of the earth, and it is the layer where most of the animals and plants live. Soil organisms like earthworm, fungi, and bacteria exist in this layer, the topsoil, and all these animals, all these organisms make the soil fertile for the plants. It contains humus. You know what is the meaning of humus? Decomposition of the leaves, which provide important nutrients for the growth of plants. I also show you the meaning of humus in my previous slide. Due to the presence of humus, the color of the topsoil can vary from dark brown to yellow. So due to the leaf or the dead leaves of the plants, the color of that soil will change and they come from dark brown to yellow. The subsoil. Subsoil is the second layer of the soil, and after the topsoil, the subsoil become this layer is become below the topsoil is a layer which is known as a subsoil. It may be brown or reddish yellow in color. What was the color of the subsoil? Due to the humus, the color of the topsoil becomes dark brown to yellow, and the color of the subsoil is brown or reddish yellow in color. This is a layer where most of the soil's nutrients are found. It contains humus and minerals like iron. Deep plant rocks look for water in this part of the soil. It means that the roots of the plants take water from or get water from this layer of the soil. Why? Because in this layer there are iron and minerals and humus. So that's why the roots which are deeply in the soil, they can get water from it. Bedrock, the last layer of the soil, this is called bedrock. Below the subsoil in the layer of solid rocks, it is the deepest layer of the soil. This is the last and the deepest layer of the soil, and this contain the hard rock or the solid rocks. Also, I want to share you the screen, and you see that the many layers of the soil are given to you. The first layer is humus, then topsoil, then subsoil. We already discussed that the color of the topsoil is due to the humus. They become brown and what? Brown and yellow. The next is subsoil, and the color of that is brown or reddish yellow. You see that the color of the subsoil is reddish yellow. Then weathered rock, and then at the end bedrock. They are the solid rocks of this. And on the other diagram, you see organic layer, topsoil, subsoil, planet material, and bedrock. There is another layer of this which is called parent material. In our book only three layers are given to us, but in this diagram, in these two diagrams, you see that how many layers are there? One, two, three, four, five. First one organic, and in the other diagram humus, they both are same. Then topsoil, this is given in our book. Then subsoil, this is also given in book, but in between the bedrock and the subsoil, there is planet material and weathered rock. This is another layer which is before the bedrock. And the last layer is bedrock, which are the solid rocks, and this is the deepest layer of the soil. Yes, students, now on page 55, we have the types of the soil. Previous we did done the layer of the soil. Now we have the types of the soil. How many types of the soil we have? Types of the soil. Squeeze some soil between your fingers. Is it crumbly, soft, or sticky? The texture of soil depends upon the size of its particle. Definitely, we have different type of the soil: sandy, silt, and clay. And according to this, the particles of that soil will be given. You see that the sand particles are bigger in size than silt and clay. The clay contains many small particles, and the sand has the bigger particles. Sand, okay, which type of the sand is? Sand is usually light in color. Particles of sand are large enough that each can be distinctly seen. If you take some sand in your hand, you can uh, feel the particles of the sand very easily. They feel gritty and coarse. What is the mean of gritty? Small particles. And coarse mean the rough or harsh. Sand is definitely harsh. Sandy soil will generally not stick together when wet. It does not hold water and nutrients, and most plant roots cannot hold on to this soil. But some vegetables we can grow in sandy soil, like carrots, radish, potatoes, and tomatoes. We can grow them in the sand. The other type is silt. Silt looks like fine grains or teeny pieces of rocks. It does not feel rough or gritty but has a smooth texture like flour. It means that when we put water in the silt, it becomes like a flour. Due to its smaller particle, it can retain more water than sand. Definitely, sand cannot retain the water, but silt retain water. The soil contains particles which are smaller than the sand particle, but layer than clay particles, but larger than the clay particles. Silt soil sticks together when wet. Silt is the best soil for growing plants and for farming. Due to the high nutrients, we can grow the plants in the silt, and this is the best soil for the plants. Clay, the third type of the soil is clay. Clay is different, is very fine soil. When wet, clay is very sticky and it can be easily modeled into different shapes. This is because wet clay can hold its shape after drying. It means that you can make any model or any shape with clay. When it dries, it becomes the same shape that you want to make it. The spaces between clay particles and very tiny plant roots cannot push through them and air is unable to get in. Since most bacteria and insects need to breathe, they do not live in clay. It means that clay is not a good soil for the plants. No plants cannot grow in it, but silt is the best soil for the plants. Sand also some plants can grow in it, like carrot. I told you carrot, radish, potatoes, and tomato we can plant in the sandy soil. Now you see in the screen that I give you some types of the soil: the sandy soil, the clay, and the looms. Looms is the best soil because um, the small animals live in this soil and they fertile it for the plants. Also, you will see that in the other side the different types of the soil. Clay, we already learned. Clay is given in our book. Sand, this is also given. Gravel. Gravel, this is the mixed rock, small pieces of the mixed rock. And loam is the fertile soil of, and also sand contains hums. Yes, you know about it, all of these things. Yes, in the page of 55, in the corner, some information is given to you. There is no soil on Mars and Venus. How is that so when both planets have plenty of rocks? What is missing is life. There are no bacteria, no fungi to make hums, and no earthworms or rabbits to loosen the topside. So that's why only the rocks are in the Mars and Venus, and the life is not possible over there. Yes, students, we have finished our chapter and now we come to the exercise. The first A part is write true and false for the statement. I already make the key for true and false for you, but I'm reading here the question for you. The first is the topsoil contains solid rocks. This is false. Second is the second layer of the soil is known as a bedrock. False, because bedrock is the last layer of the soil. The texture of silt is smooth and silky. True. Living organisms destroy the soil's quality. False. What they did? They make the soil fertile. Silt is the best soil for growing plants. True. Only insects make their home in the soil. False. Only, also the animals live inside like rabbit, turtle, fox. They also live under the soil or in the soil. Now fill in the blanks. The layer of the soil which contains most hums is known as topsoil. The first layer of the soil definitely is hums. The soil, which is composed of medium-sized particles and feels smooth, is called silt. The layer of the soil which is below the topsoil is known as subsoil. The soil which contains the largest particles and feels rough when rubbed is called sand. The soil which can be modeled into different shapes and can contain these shapes after drying is known as clay. Soil supports plants by holding their roots firmly. What is the process of the soil? What is the factor of soil? Why soil is important? Because it holds the roots firmly of the plants. Come to the section C. This is circle the correct answer. The first is also I mentioned here the key. You will circle the options over here and you also can check your answer from the answer key. The first is which type of the soil feels sticky when wet? Clay. The texture of the soil depends on the size of its particle. Which one of the following soil has the largest grains and feel rough? Sand. There is no soil on the moon and Mars because there is no life there. From which of these soil can water drain off easily? Sand. The soil sticks together when wet but does not hold its shape after drying. Silt. Yes, the part D. This is about question answers. What is soil and what is composed of? What is soil and what is composed of? Although we already discussed about the definition of the soil, soil is the material that covers the earth's surface. It is made up of four things: water, air, nutrients particle, and organic matter. This is also given in your book, the answer. Soil is a material that covers the earth's surface. It is made up of four things. These are water, air, or particles, and the organic matter. The second question is name the layers of soil in the sequence in which they are present on land. How much easy this question is. Only we will write how many names, how many layers are given in our book? 3 only. The first one is topsoil, then subsoil, and at the end, bed rocks. I mentioned 5 types in the slide, but in our book only 3 types are given. The layers of 3 given. So you will only mention that 3 layers, top and sub and bedrock. Here the next question is write 2 ways in which soil is important for living things. 2 ways in which soil is important. Soil is important because it is the place of shelter and nutrients for small animals such as rats and rabbits. I show you many examples of the animals which live in the soil. All the plants we eat grow in the soil. This is the second importance of the soil. Question number 4 is how do small animals help the soil? Small animals living in the soil help to aerate the soil by digging it while their waste enriches the soil. They fertile the soil. Question number, in the book they mention question number 5, how do small animals help the soil, but actually this is question 4 because in the book the numbering is wrong. After 3 they write there 5. But 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the 4th question, not the 5th one. How do small animals help the soil? This is the 4th question in the book, but by mistake they write there 5. Okay, student, after this chapter, Alhamdulillah, we finished our syllabus of this term, of midterm. I join you in chapter 7. Chapter 7, 8 and 10 we have done and finished. After doing these three chapters, we have finished the syllabus of midterm. Uh, and dear students, you will complete your copies. I'm telling you again and again. You will do the question, write the question, and also draw the diagrams or paste the diagram of the animals or the bird which are necessary for the requirement of the question. You can, if you can draw it or paste the diagram of different animals in each question according to the requirement of the question. Okay, students, inshallah, we will meet again very soon. Goodbye and good luck. Allah Hafiz.